So today I have an issue with my proxmox server and I'm going to fix it. So I just wanted to record a simple video showing how I debug and fix the issue. So I had a proxmox server set up fully a few months back and everything was running smoothly. I was able to access everything remotely and I was doing everything fine. But what happened is one day suddenly my router went down, like my router got damaged, something happened to the router and uh, basically it broke. I don't know what happened. I was not exactly here to identify the issue. But anyway, what happened was the router went down. So I called up my internet provider and they offered me a free router change and they changed the router and everything. But the issue was when they changed the router, everything broke. And when everything broke, basically I was not able to access my server from anywhere. I was actually using Tailscale to access my server on a remote connection. So I was actually not here. This is currently my home, but I was not here and I was not able to access everything remotely. And to fix that, I'm actually going to try and fix that today. So that's the video. I'm not really used to recording videos, so there could be issues. So please bear with it. But my goal here is to try and debug the issue. Most likely what happened was the IP address actually changed. My earlier IP addresses were different, and that could have caused this issue, to be honest. Like the IP address range is probably changed, so I just have to look that up and fix it. So I can show you my proxmox machine here. So this is actually my router. This is my new router. My company, the ISP, was actually nice enough to give me a good router. This was free, and it actually supports both 2.5 and a 5 gigahertz connection. That's actually nice compared to my previous router. It's not fancy. It's a free one. It has its limitations, but this works fine for me. I just don't need too much. And this is my proxmox machine. It's basically an old PC. It's a low-end PC. It has like an i3 processor and an 8 gigs RAMs, and I have attached an old hard disk, and I have an SSD for the operating system, which is like proxmox. And I have plugged it in. Everything looks to be fine on the physical side of things. Now let's go and figure out what has exactly happened. If my diagnosis is correct, it's most likely an issue of IP change. The IP address probably got changed. I think there's not enough lighting, but doesn't matter. I don't matter here, so I'm not really used to video making that much, so I just have a very amateur setup here. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to now show you. I just have to log into my router settings, so you can see these. You can see a lot of my services here. So you can see these were some of my services here, like basically I even had it routed to domain so that I wouldn't have to type the IP addresses. So I'll just show you. I have some of these IP addresses bookmarked. This was my like my proxmox, like the console or whatever dashboard, where I could see all my stuff. So basically, if you see, the IP address here is 192.168.10.150 or in that range. And here, if I just actually open my IP address, if I just see this IP address, yeah, this is my interface. So you can see the IP address is now changed. It was in the 192.168.10 range, but now it's like in the 192.168.1 range, which is the reason this is actually happening. That's probably the main reason the IP or the entire services went down. So I don't think it's a good idea to, like, I have so many services, like maybe 5 to 6 services, and it has several dependencies. So it's very hard for me to actually go and change the IP addresses of these services. Instead, what I could do is I could just change the entire LAN IP addresses here, or like the IP addresses of this entire network back to my previous range, and see if that will bring back my old services back up. Now, what do I have to do? So I have to go back to my router settings and change my LAN IP addresses uh, to basically match my old settings. So I can go to my router settings here, log in. So I even had my vault warden configured. I had my own password manager set up, but everything is down right now. So let's see what we can do here. 40ix0, and I'm going to log in here, and I think it should be somewhere here in my network LAN. If I change my IP address here, I think that should basically bring it back. Do I have anything else? I believe I should just change it back to 10.1 here, and the subnet mask is fine. Start IP address, I'll change it to, it can start from 10.2 if I'm not wrong. Like, is something actually using 10.2? I don't think anything is like using 10.2 at the moment. 10.2 can be used because 10.1 we are technically assigning it to the router, and 10.2 I believe some of my services had like a range in the, I don't know, actually I have to check it. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I hope this works. I changed the last IP address to 10.54. That should be fine. Everything else is fine. Let's apply the changes. Okay, so basically what happened was I changed my IP address range, and uh, and I had to like restart my networks. Like currently I'm just using my phone camera connected with OBS through a Wi-Fi network, through the same network. So like I'm using this app called IREM or something like that, whatever. So my entire recording, or my face recording, just stopped. I had to restart my network services and everything, and finally my network is up, and you can see my IP address has changed. Now I'm in the 10 range again. Let's see if my proxmox will come back up. Great, my proxmox is back. So let me, I don't really know if other services will be up because the IP allocation will be a mess right now. So my tail scale, currently I'll have to check my status of my tail scale. So a bunch of my services are up. Okay, so my server is actually up. That's nice. That is nice. What about my workstation? My workstation is not up. I'll have to re-authenticate. So sudo tail scale. I believe it's up. I don't know. No, it's not up. I forgot the command. Let's Google it. How to log into tail scale on Linux. So you just say sudo tail scale up. Okay, that's what I did, right? What's happening? Let's check the tail scale docs directly. We have to just do this, which is not sure what's happening. 0 tail scale up. It should have prompted me for a login. So currently I can see that my tail scale server is active, which is like basically this machine. I'm using something called a subnet router. So just have like this this container here called tail scale server, which basically I like what you have two options. Either you could like set up tail scale instances in every one of these services where you need to access it publicly. Another better or efficient way is just to install it on one machine and install it as a subnet router, so that like that will be your gateway to all of your other services. That's what I've done, which is easier to set up and you'll have less complexity. So this tail scale server is letting me, it's sitting in the middle of all these services and letting me access it. So that's what I've done. All these services, some of these are public, some of these are private, and I'm accessing them through the tail scale server, which is acting like a subnet router, which is like, yeah, that's like the middleman here. And that is what you see here. It is currently up, which is great, but none of my other machines are. This is my laptop, that's fine, but where is my machine? Like, yeah, this is my current Linux machine, which is not coming up. Why? I'll just try, maybe there's some updates, I don't know. Several things have failed. Actually, I haven't used this machine in a while, so the updates could be broken. So the signature is invalid. Failed to fetch. Some of these repos failed to update. I don't think it matters to us much. Mirror start packages. Okay, whatever. See, like, is there a flag like this? Like, I should just tail for like, I believe like 100 lines. Like, got a lot of these commands. Tail. How do you use tail? Yeah, -n should show you the number of lines. I just need the last 100 lines. I'm sure why it's not working. Let's ask our AI gods here. I think I'll just use ChatGPT. Because my tail scale up is not showing anything. Okay, so Yeah, okay, so yeah, I get it. It's like I am trying to supply the path, I should just supply the service name. Right. If you want live logs, yeah, that would be great. Oh yeah, it accepts a service name. Oh, we have to check that. Like, yeah, we checked that did work. Uh, so why is it failing here? One, not sure what is happening. Control registered now. Node machine authorized true, auth URL false. It's okay. First of all, maybe I have to properly log out of Tailscale. How do I log out of Tailscale? Maybe that is causing an issue. Maybe I'm already logged in and it wants me to log out first or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's just Tailscale log out. Let's try Tailscale. Let's try Tailscale up again. Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out the logs here. Okay, that did work, so it was just some login issue. So I have an issue here. So if I just do the Tailscale up, and what is happening is like I'll get the link right now to log in, but like I'm not able to open it. So I'm just so I'll just copy this link and I try to open it. It does not work for some reason. So I've been trying to debug this issue. So when I open this, I wanted to check if it was an internet issue, which it is not. I'm able to ping IP addresses, but I'm not able to ping domain names. This is clearly a DNS issue. So to fix this, basically what we have to do is add a proper DNS server. I don't know what this is. We just add 1.1.1.1 and this should fix the issue. Why is it not working? Ping. Let's do maybe Facebook. I'm not able to ping. So IP addresses are definitely working. Domain names, for some reason, why am I getting IPv6 here? Name server is 1.1.1.1. Maybe I should change it to Google's IP. So I could like try network. I think like it's network.services. Is it this? Not even sure what I'm doing at this point. How do we start network services? Yeah, it could just do that. So sure what exactly is happening here. So let me just ask GPT here, why is this failing? I could just give it this file. Domain names not resolving. So your connectivity is to be resolved, the host is failing. Okay, what does that mean? DNS resolution is working. Resolved to an IPv6 address, but why is it resolving to an IPv6 address? What? I do have Eddie if I'm not wrong. Okay, that is interesting. That's an interesting issue. Okay. So, okay, I get the issue. Basically, I had this VPN called AirVPN, which again I actually configured it for my proxmox server so that it can download things for the media server. But I also used the client on my normal machine, which so actually basically it screwed up my network settings. That's what it says. That's an interesting issue I've never come across before. So it's created by Eddie. So that is interesting. So I just have to disable IPv6, which is that's not. I just don't want Eddie actually for now. How do I turn off? Like, how do I disable or delete Eddie for now? So should I just, I don't know, do I even have that app right now? I don't know. Is it like a command line? I do remember using it, but I don't really know what it is. AirVPN. Do we have a service like called Eddie pseudo system? Pseudo system CTL. Status Eddie. Like, there's no such service. ADVPN. What is Eddie? I don't see. Yeah, let's see the processes. There is something. There seems to be something here that could be Eddie. I guess for it. Okay, I guess what I'm going to currently do is I'll disable IPv6. I'm not really using IPv6 at the moment, so I don't think it matters. I'll go to my sysctl config and yep, that should work. sysctl.config and yeah, I could just, I guess it's like this does it now, and adding it to the config file fixes it permanently. So we have disabled IPv6 now. Technically facebook.com should work. Great. Now I should be able to, let me just cancel it and restart it again. Alright, great. profile. Alright, finally I have. Okay, I'm finally logged in. That was harder than actually setting up this entire thing. I don't know what is wrong with Google. They made me do too much captchas. So finally I can connect, and that means I should be able to. Oh, I should have actually accepted the routes. This is actually essential for the subnet router to work properly. Yep, that does it. So now it accepts all the routes, so it should be fine. 0 tail scale status. Okay, something is wrong with tail scale, which I'm not able to figure out yet. Why does it? Okay, let me actually check the web app and see who are connected right now. Okay, workstation's PC is actually connected. It shows it's connected, so I guess it's fine. Here it doesn't. Here it shows some issues. I'll look into it if it actually causes me any issues. For now, this is fine. So my tail scale server is up. I have a bunch of other machines, all of them that I use, I guess. Anyway, so this is my proxmox now. So proxmox is working. I want to see if my other services are working, like my, first of all, let me check my docs. I have a actual written documentation for this entire server. It's not fully completed, but I've tried to do it as much as I can. Like, I believe, like, writing documentation is really hard, but you have to do it, because once you mess things up, that's your only way of knowing what to fix. So I don't think my my domains are working yet, because I don't know for sure. Like, I have this domain called punkrecords.in. This is a domain that I bought for like this whole setup. So docs.punkrecords.in should like technically take me to this machine, but it's not. Okay, it works. I don't know why it works, so I guess it's fine. I have some more documentation to finish here, but like most of this stuff is properly documented. I have everything written down here. So this service is called DokuWiki, I believe. It's a simple documentation, self-hosted setup. I have to make proper backups of this as well, because this is like super valuable for me, more valuable than all these services itself, because this contains information on how I've set this entire thing up. So I may have to look into better solutions, but for now this works, I guess. So now we have so if this domain works, that means all my other services should technically work. I do have Pi-hole, but I don't really use it that much. Jelly Seer. Let me see if my Jelly Seer works. Jelly Seer dot punkrecords dot in. Jelly Seer dot punkrecords dot in. I can show you my. So I've used something called a reverse proxy. I've used this service called Caddy to. I've actually bought this domain name, and I configured it to actually connect to my tailscale server, and my tailscale server is like running a reverse proxy, so it will just route all the appropriate domains to its IP address, and that's how it's done. It's actually very interesting setup. I got to learn a lot of things setting this thing up. Okay. So I have this yeah, I actually have this custom caddy called xcaddy that I have the domain itself. I have actually the DNS itself is actually in Cloudflare, so I've set up xcaddy so that it properly works with Cloudflare. And basically, what it does is I've the domain configured to like whenever I'm trying to access one of my services, it will just resolve it to this tailscale server, and I have this caddy setup where I've just uh, yeah, all these are properly routed here. So these are all the services. So technically I should be able to access this from here. Yeah, the service itself is up, but the domain name, was there a typo? Let me see. Okay, yeah, okay, it was a typo here. Anyway, so my domain name itself is up, so now I can actually try and sign into my password manager. Okay. Okay, that unlocks my vault. I don't want anybody to see it, but basically that means my password manager should work now. Why is it not working? Yeah, okay, it works. I probably won't be showing what is in here. I'll blur it out, but basically it's a cool service. I'll make a separate video on this. Basically, this is a service that'll let you watch movies and like it's a media server. Basically, it's like a Jellyseer in itself is basically it lets you search and request for movies, and I have other services set up so that it can properly just capture those requests and download it and show those movies to you. A lot of things seems to be broken, but on a basic level, I think things are working. And basic stuff is up, so I'll have to debug some specific issues. I believe there's a tailscale issue here that I don't know what is exactly happening. And I believe most of my other services are working. My wiki is definitely working, password manager is working, tailscale server is working. Jellyfin, yeah, Jellyfin, let me check if my Jellyfin is working. Jellyfin dot Jellyfin is also working, which is nice. Alright, I'll probably blur out a lot of these things, but basically I want my shows here and stuff. I don't really want a copyright strike or anything, but Jellyfin seems to be up and running. Jellyseer seems to have some issues, which I'll have to debug later. I'm actually pretty much done. I'll be making more videos on my proxmox setup, so stay tuned for that. This seems to be a minor issue which I should be able to fix. Most probably the DNS failed because things are not resolving here. I've had this issue before. I had to change the DNS or something, I think. Maybe I can just look into it. Why is Jellyseer not working? So I just have to look up journeyctl. So failed to authenticate with headers. What is this service? Sign in attempt from a Jellyfin users with access to the 123. What is this? So basically my Jellyfin and Jellyseer are connected, so I believe something is going wrong with the Jellyfin server where it's I don't know what exactly the issue is, but 124, what is 123 then? 123 is the tailscale server, and what does the log say? Server is not reachable. Like, does it think that the jellyfin is in 123? Because that's not true. Jellyfin is in 124, and 123 is the tail scale server. Jellyseer failed to authenticate with headers. So server ready on port 5555. Okay, not exactly sure what the issue is. 123 is failing. 123 is supposed to be the tail scale server, but I don't really think it needs to connect to the tail scale server for anything. Let me try this locally. What happens if I try this locally? I'll just do a tail to find the last 100 logs. Is it working? No, it's not. It clearly does not work. It's able to fetch these. Why are they not being displayed? So TMDB, it does have a TMDB API. Sometimes what happens is the DNS server itself is not. Yeah, I believe that's the issue. It has some random DNS service configured. And I can just restart this service. So now let me try reloading it. By the way, I just have to check. Okay, it's being reset on reboot. Maybe I shouldn't like reboot my entire service. Maybe I should just restart Jellyseer here itself. So I don't know how to do that. Let me see how to. I can do a systemctl. Okay. Let's do that. Actually, I'll just restart the service without restarting the container, because no, I shouldn't have a. Okay, what I can do otherwise is I can actually come here, and I believe I can configure the DNS directly here, so that it. Okay, I have a DNS option here. DNS domain, DNS server. I can force it to use. Maybe I'll just use Google's DNS. I would need to reboot this service for this to work. Technically that should resolve the issue. Yeah, now it's using the proper so it restarted. It's trying to fetch things, but it fails here. Request failed at code 404. It's discovering things, which is nice. Like it's able to connect with my radar server, which is actually the server for movies, and it found 3 item in progress, whatever, that doesn't matter. Another interesting service that I have, I'll actually make a detailed video on this later, but I do have a I do have a torrent server. So I do have a torrent server. I'll make a detailed video on this later, but that seems to be working as well. Not exactly sure what is happening. Okay, it's definitely TMDB is failing. It's not able to fetch and display the... Last time I had the same issue and it was resolved when I changed the DNS to a proper DNS. But this time, even with that, it's not working. Surprising, because last time this worked after I fixed the DNS. I guess I'll have to use GPT. I'll just give this to GPT, but I have to ensure that I don't have any secret information that I shouldn't be supplying. I don't think this log has anything like that. It's basic stuff, no API keys, nothing. Error message, I guess that's fine. So my jelly sear is failing to show all the shows and movies. Why is GMTB failing here? I have changed the DNS to use. Still shows the same issue. Yeah, okay, the MBB is failing. API dot, this is blocked. Oh yeah, I do have a, I don't know if I actually, I don't think I have a, okay. So outbound HTTPS is blocked. This is blocked. VPN is interfering. That could be a cause, but I don't think. I don't think I have Air VPN here. No, I don't think it's that. It's I don't think I even configured a TMDB API in the first place, so that's not an issue probably. But I think this is the issue. Basically, the outbound HTTPS itself is blocked. What is happening? Like, am I actually able to ping? Yeah, it's the same issue. Why is actually like my IPv6 interfering? So basically IPv6 is causing issues again. I'm going to disable IPv6 for now and try it again. And to make it permanent, we have to basically edit this file. I tend to forget a lot of these commands, so I have to come back again and again. And I'm going to add it somewhere here. Doesn't matter. Now let me try. Okay, now I do need an API key. I don't remember configuring this in the first place, so I don't know how this actually failed. So now let me just fetch this. Okay, seems to be working. Yeah, it is working. Okay, I didn't have to configure the API key. So it's IPv6. I have to actually investigate the root cause of that issue. But for now, I'm not going to do that. I'm just too tired from debugging this. So I'll look into that later. But I do have to debug that issue. This is not something that has happened before. IPv6. I have not really used IPv6 at all in this particular setup, so I don't know what is causing this issue, and I never had this issue before. So I'll have to debug that. I want to check if my other services also has this. So if I just try to ping here, it works. So it's not like it exists in every machine. It's surprising. I don't know what is happening, but I guess I'll look into that later. But for now, thank you for watching this video. I do intend to make a detailed video, and I do have some more setups that I've in my mind that I'll plan to do. So I'll be making more videos on my setup and like, you know, system administration, networking videos in the future. So thank you for watching. That's it.